Oh, and so get this. Our deep dive this week, it's taking us right into the thick of, like modern politics.
Mm-hmm.
But the source material might surprise you.
Okay.
We're diving into a TikTok live stream.
Oh, wow. Really? A TikTok live stream?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So this TikToker, they're making this really bold claim, and I found it fascinating.
Yeah.
They're saying that politicians, like especially big names like, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris,
Right.
they're actually way more intelligent, more calculated than how they come across. Like they're putting on a performance.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, this idea of politicians crafting a persona, it's not exactly new, right? I mean, throughout history, leaders have always understood this need to shape their image to connect with the masses,
Right, and this TikToker, they specifically point out Trump.
Okay.
Like how he used to be in interviews,
Yeah.
like way back when.
Yeah.
Like much sharper, and they're contrasting that with how he's presenting himself more recently.
Okay.
Like almost hinting that there's been this like deliberate shift.
Interesting. Okay.
And they even bring up how he's admitted to like playing a part before.
Right. Well, and what I find interesting is they seem to point to his business successes.
Yeah.
Even with, maybe some bumps along the way.
Yeah.
As a sign of like real intelligence.
Oh, right.
Like it makes you think about what's really going on beneath the surface.
Right. Totally. And then they get into Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Who, former district attorney.
Right.
Known for her, courtroom skills, that sharp mind in the courtroom. And this TikToker seems to be saying that, like, her current public image, it doesn't quite match up with that sharp legal mind.
It's like it makes you wonder if it's a deliberate strategy, right?
Yeah.
Like they're playing to an audience that expects a certain kind of entertainment from their politicians. You know what I mean?
Like politics is a reality show.
Yeah, exactly. It's a performance.
and this TikToker doesn't stop there. They go on to suggest that this whole performance thing is like part of this bigger strategy.
Okay.
That's used by both sides of the political aisle.
Interesting. Okay.
And they actually use a pretty like strong phrase to describe it. They call it like this divide and conquer strategy. Like they're saying political parties, they actually stir up conflict on purpose to distract us from like what's actually going on.
It's a classic tactic, right? Create that us versus them.
Yeah.
Get everybody so focused on those manufactured conflicts they miss the bigger picture, right?
And it really makes you think like how often are we getting caught up in those online arguments,
Taking sides, getting all like fired up about the latest political drama. And it's like, is someone intentionally pulling those strings?
It's a bit unsettling when you think about it that way, isn't it?
Totally. And they even they compare it to
like
how society used to be structured.
Okay.
Like with the king and the nobility and then like the common people.
Oh, right.
And each group is like
kept in check.
Yeah. Either by like the promise of moving up or the fear of falling further down.
Exactly. And that actually connects with this idea of, manufactured consent.
Okay.
Right? Where power structures they stay in control.
Right.
By shaping the narratives, right? The things that we're consuming.
It's like we're being controlled and we don't even realize it. It makes you question, right? Like who actually benefits from this constant state of division? Like is this really serving us, or is it serving those who are already in a position of power?
Right. But here's where I thought it got really interesting.
Okay.
They bring up Elon Musk.
Okay.
And it's almost like he's playing a different game entirely.
Interesting.
They were mentioning, his work with AI, self-driving cars, and how he seems to be like shaping the future, but on his own terms.
It's like he's operating outside of those traditional political structures, right?
Yes.
Like with his resources and his influence.
Right.
Maybe he doesn't have to play by the same rules.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if these tech moguls are the new power players.
Right.
In all of this.
Yeah, it's like a whole different level.
It's a whole other layer to this,
Yeah. But even with all this talk of like political theater and these powerful figures, they don't end on a totally cynical note.
Okay.
In fact, like, their closing message is kind of a call to action.
Interesting.
Okay. So they end their live stream with this really, it's kind of like a powerful statement.
Okay.
They say, words are magical.
Mm.
And they're like urging everyone to really think critically,
Right.
and see through all the theatrics of it all.
Yeah, no, it's so true. The power of language is pretty incredible when you think about it. Like it shapes how we see the world, how we form our opinions, even how we talk to each other. Think about it. Propaganda, spin, those carefully chosen sound bites.
Right.
It all comes back to language.
So it's like we need to be more aware of how we're being influenced, right?
Exactly, yeah, and that includes questioning our own assumptions, right? Like, is there more to the story than what's being presented?
Right.
Are we really getting the full picture, or just a carefully edited version? Right?
Yeah, it's almost like they're suggesting that, like, the whole system is designed to kind of keep us distracted.
Yeah, yeah.
And even like almost implying that like these political figures wouldn't be acting this way if they were like dealing with really serious matters.
Right, behind closed doors, right.
Yeah, like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's all a big show.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to get pulled into, the day-to-day drama of it all.
Yeah.
But what if we're missing something?
Yeah.
Something crucial by focusing on all that noise.
Right. It all comes back to that idea, right?
Yeah.
If politics is a performance,
yeah,
who's the audience?
Right. Who are they performing for? That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, are we the intended audience, or are there forces at play that we're not even aware of?
Right. It's something to consider as we try to navigate this increasingly complex world, right?
Absolutely. And on that note, I think this deep dive leaves us with a really a pretty powerful challenge. Don't be afraid to question what you see and hear. Seek out different perspectives, even if they make you maybe a little uncomfortable.
Right.
and most importantly, draw your own conclusions.
Right. Yeah. Be critical thinkers.
Exactly.
That's what it all comes down to.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for diving into this with me. It was
this was a good one.
It was a fascinating topic for sure.
It really makes you think.
It does. And I have a feeling we're going to be thinking about this one.
Me too.
For a while.
For a while, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, until next time.
See you next time.